Got my 1999 Nissan Altima 2.4 liter. It won't start. I can hear the starter clicking, but it won't turn over. The very first thing I did is I made sure that my battery cables were clean and that the battery had a full charge. You know, I don't want to be changing out a starter when all it is just dirty battery connections. Um, the starter is located way down here. I tried to get to the bolts to take it off yesterday, but I wasn't able to do it. The Chilton's manual says that you need to take off the air box so you can get to the stuff, and I think I'm going to do that today. So before we get started with this project, I'm going to disconnect my negative battery terminal. I don't want anything shorting out or anything starting while I'm working on the car. I'm going to start taking off this air box. So I decided to take these 4 bolts out. There's a bunch of hoses and stuff on here, wiring. I think it'd be easier just to kind of unhook this whole unit and then just kind of push it out of the road rather than unhook all those wires and hoses. There. Now I can just kind of push this off to the side for now. There. Now that we got all this other junk out of the road, we can finally get to the 2 bolts for the starter. They're 14mm bolts, one down here, and then there's one in here. It's still going to be kind of hard to get to, but I hope I can get to it. So now I'm underneath the car. You can see there's the oil filter, so it's a little bit further over that way. A little wire you just push on the deal and it slides out, and then the power nut, or the power wire, has a 12mm nut on it. There's a trick. If you ever get stranded and you just need to get home, you need to get it to start once. You can bang on it with a hammer or a screwdriver or something, and that might get it to start one last time. Or if you sit there and click the ignition for a while, you might get lucky and it'll start again once more, just to get home or whatever. So when you put the nut on to this, you want to make sure that you get it tight enough that it doesn't come loose. But if you get it too tight, it'll crack the ceramic, so you got to be very careful. You're putting the starter back in. Don't forget that the bottom bolt is longer than the top one. So I got the starter back in, got the car lowered down. Now I just need to put this back in here. When I took this stuff off, this rubber is really brittle, kind of cracked along there. This rubber piece cracked when I took it apart. I'm thinking now it might be a better idea to just kind of leave this stuff on here because it's old and brittle. If you're lucky, you can get away with like leaving this together as one piece and then just removing it and setting it off to the side, and then taking this bottom plastic piece off. And with those two pieces removed, or with those things removed, you might have enough room to get in there and get at the starter bolts. So now I have to either replace or somehow repair this. I'm afraid to put any kind of silicone on there because I know certain types of silicone can ruin your sensors for your emission system or for your fuel injection system.